Hiya folks, Lone Wolf here, and welcome back to the channel again. Right, today it's a vlogging setup. Basically, I've had one or two of my subscribers who've said, what camera do I use, how do I mount it, etc, stuff like that on the bike. So, if you're interested in what I use, how I mount it, and what I do with it, stay tuned. Okay, so I use basically three different cameras, well 4 cameras, but when I'm vlogging I use 3 main cameras. I tend to record in 2.7K, 30 frames per second, maybe 24. The reason being is when you upload it to YouTube and stuff like that, my broadband where I live isn't very fast. So it can take hours and hours. And at the end of the day, a lot of people tend to watch the videos on iPhones, Samsung smartphones, whatever. And they only watch it on a small screen. So I think there's only about 30% of my subscribers watch it on an actual laptop or a main PC. So the difference is negligible. Well, that's in my opinion anyway. So the 3 cameras I use, well 4 cameras as such, I use the main camera, my helmet camera, the one that's mounted on the helmet that I'll show you first, is a DJI Action 3. That's a DJI Action 3. I've had it 12 months plus now. There is a new one out now, an Action 4, but I use the Action 3. It was about 340 odd quid, I think, in the bundle that it came with. But it's by far and away the best, in my opinion, action type camera. It's very reliable. It doesn't overheat as the GoPro used to, and it's very rare you lose any footage. It never negates anything. It doesn't seem to stick or stop or anything like that. I'm touching wood at the minute, but it seems to be fine. So I'll show you. So folks, this is the DJI Action 3. DJI Action 3. I've had it about a year, as I say, and I've had no issues with it. You've got a front screen and a back screen. You can probably just see that bit of glaring off the light, obviously. But both of them are operation when you switch it on. I'll pop it on. There we go. So there's your front screen, and obviously you can just see my bike in the distance there. And there's the back screen, my face on it. Sorry about that. It's a good camera, really good camera. And that's the one I use on my helmet for front facing. This is the one that tends to do all the work. Most of the footage that you'll ever see comes off this camera. So that leads me to the next thing, which is how do I mount the camera? Okay then, so as you know, I've got 2 different helmets. This is my Scorpion ADF 9000, my adventure helmet, the one I use predominantly when I'm out vlogging. This clips on to the front like that. It's basically a magnet. It's really clever design. It's a magnet. Fits on, it clips on there. This actual type of GoPro mount, on this ADF, it comes with a thing that you fetch out, you clip out, and it screws in. So that gives you kind of like a blank plate there to put your mounting bracket on. So that's how I mount it on the Scorpion ADF 9000. So helmet number 2, which is my R1 Air. Similar system altogether. Clips on there, but on this case I've got what they call a chin mount. That's the mount that fits to the helmet, and these chin mounts come from Canada. They're purpose-built, designed for each helmet that you've got. I would add one on the ADF, but it's already come with a blanking plate, as I've explained. Now, these are very good, but once they start to give you a problem, they do fall off. Hence, what I've got, and you probably notice, is a tether. Now, I've used this tether, and it just saved me. It has saved this camera more than once, because when it becomes the dying swan and decides to fall off, that's an expensive camera that's going to be rolling down the road for people to run over. But thankfully, this lanyard has saved it more than once. So that's the camera, and that's camera mounts. Next thing we'll do is how do we get the audio to it. So there's various ways you can get audio to the camera. It's got a USB-C port here, which is where you would connect an external mic. Now, I've tried several external mics. The wind noise is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare with it. I've spent quite a few quid on and off on different mics to try and get it right. The best way to do it is like this. So what you do, it's called it's the DJI Wireless Mic. I'll open it up and show you. Look inside there. What you got? 2 microphones and 1 receiver. Gonna get close, have a look. 2 microphones and 1 receiver. They automatically pair to the receiver. The receiver goes into your helmet. So what I'll do is I'll put it in and show you. So there's your camera, and this clips in to the side there where your USB is, USB-C. As you can see on the back there, it's looking for its 2 camera microphones. If I just touch one, you may, depends whether I get a picture. Can you see it work, go in here? One against the other. They've gone off now because I've took them off. Different ones. So that is how it fits on your helmet. Now, it's a bit of a blag, because at the end of the day, your helmet fits on your front helmet like that. You got this here. I use an elastic band to come across and hold this in place. It's a bit haphazard, bit of a crap fix, but I don't want to lose this. This thing's quite a few quid. I mean, I think it's about 200 quid, I think, for the wireless mic setup, but it's well worth it. It's the only way to deal with it properly. So that's the way it fits there. It goes on your helmet, and that clips on the front of your helmet. So then you get your microphone. Here's your microphone. DJI. Lovely piece of kit. What this does as well, you switch it on and it records. Obviously the battery life is phenomenal, but you can also, by using the buttons on the side, I don't know if you can see them very well, you can actually press record, and it records all your conversation anyway. So at any time you think you've lost it, you can put this onto your system and download, and you can download all the audio, and then you can remix it if you need to. But you get the old wind muff, put that on, which makes a hell of a lot of difference, and that just clips on like that. Makes a massive difference, that does. So then you've got to put it in your helmet. It's a big piece of kit to stick in your helmet, to be fair. But what DJI come up with, they come up with this. This is a magnet. This magnet and it sticks, and you see, to there, like that. So now to stick that in your helmet, what you need to do is you need to get some of this. Now this is a clever bit of kit. It's magnetic and it sticks to it. But at the back side of it, it peels off. So what you do is you cut your strip to the length you want and you put it inside your helmet, like so. I don't know whether you'll see. I don't know whether you'll see. And then you stick it in there and it just clicks in there like that. Can you see it? And it just sits inside your helmet like that. If you put a big enough piece of strip on, you can vary the position of the microphone so that it don't interfere with your jaw or your face or anything like that. I position it to the right hand side and just almost in the cheek pad, and I find that's by far and away the best audio I get. Now, the camera itself, you can alter, sorry, I'll get my words out. You can alter the gain, plus and minus, on the camera, which means that you can get rid of a lot of the outside noise. And you can also do it with, let's put that back in there, see? Sorry about this, I'm just trying to put everything back before I lose it all. You can also do it on this unit here. You can alter the gain on each individual microphone. So what I'll do is I'll have one microphone in my helmet, and that's the one that does all the voice. Gets a certain amount of wind noise, a certain amount of ambient noise. If I want to be really trick and really clever and I've got something to display, then I get the second microphone and I'll put this either in a bag behind me, back of me, in the back of me jacket, something like that, and then I can get all the ambient noise. If I've got an exhaust or a fruity exhaust noise, I can drop this on and I can get the real push of the exhaust when I'm riding. Don't use it very often. What it does is, because I use a thing called a Wondershare Filmora when I do my editing, and what you can do is you have a stereo and then you can alter which microphone is the main microphone. At the minute you can see it's picking up my voice on the recorder here, on this unit here, which would then be recording on this camera. It's a pretty clever piece of kit. So is Filmora Wondershare, because on the stereo side I can bring in the back microphone, if you want, the engine microphone, loud, and then I can send it back to vice versa if I run it in stereo. A lot of the time I only use one microphone, which is the one inside the helmet. Main reason is I find that's sufficient. I do get enough noise, and the wind noise is quite low. Again, depends. If you open your visor, obviously you're going to get more wind noise. But anybody who's been watching my videos, that's what you'll find. I use that main one. So that's my front-facing helmet camera, DJI Action 3 with the DJI wireless microphone system. There is a new one that's come out that's even cleverer than this, but at the moment I'm happy with what I've got, and it's working a treat, so I'm quite happy with it. By the way, this box of tricks, you can see there, it's fully charged. The USB connection at the back, USB-C, charges it, and when the gear's in here, it's charging while it's in the box. I find I can run all day without having to charge it. As long as it's full, when I leave home, I can do a full day's recording and no problem at all, microphone and receiver. If I'm on tour or anything like that, I just take this with me plug it in at night, job done. Okay, so we move on. This is what I call my B-roll camera. This is the one that, as you can see, is mounted on the bike. Different sort of scenario of clamps, and that's one bolted to the handlebars with the ball in it. Then you use this one to come to it, adjustable. This is the one that shows my ugly face when I'm talking to you. This is a Wolfgang. Now, it's a cheap 40 quid camera that I had off eBay a long time ago. Again, run it in 2.7K, and it's the one that sometimes I try and sync in, so as when I'm doing a decent conversation, you can see my face. It's not brilliant, but it does the job. I also got on here a remote for it, which you can see. It says, hey, the sun's giving me a nightmare at the minute. And I can start and stop it with that. So that there will start recording, and that will stop recording. That actual one will take a picture, God forbid. Why would you want to take a picture of my face? But that's start recording, stop recording. So that's what they call a B-roll camera, a Wolfgang. About 40 quid, I think, but it does the job. Right, so the third camera I use is this. This is a Insta 360 X3. This is a wonderful piece of kit. Now, this one goes in 4K most of the time. Anybody who's look on the internet, you'll find anything to do with Insta 360 X3. It's a wonderful piece of kit. This records 360, so basically when it's on the bike, it's recording everything. So wherever I position it, it's giving me a picture. Then when I bring it back, get home, and I go into the edit, you get the software which you download to your PC or on your phone, and you can set it up and you can alternate what you're looking at. Gives you some marvellous shots, especially if you're doing some mountain runs or some passes where you've got quite a few turns. It gives you some great effects. As I say, I run this one in 4K. Again, the battery life is phenomenal on this, lasts ages. This cage is an addition that I've bought for it to give it a bit of protection. How do I mount it? Well, if I want to mount it on the front of the bike where the B-roll camera is, because I don't always use that one for B-roll, I can use this. I'll just put this bracket on. What I can do is, as you can see, I can put this and mount that on the bike in the B-roll position where the other camera is, and then this then will be sort of like looking at me, if you want, in respect, and it's taking all the pictures all the way around. So that's one way of using it. You can change the lens in there by buttons, whereby you can get the 360 view, or you can get a straight view front or a straight view back. So again, it's multi-purpose. It's an expensive piece of kit. There is now a new one, 360 X4, and a different one again, which is even better. But this suffices my needs, and I'm finding it really useful. There's other ways of using it. If I just drop it off this mount here, what I will do is occasionally the old selfie stick will come out. This is part of the kit actually when you buy it, the selfie stick. I just tighten it on there, and then obviously you can extend it, do all sorts with it. And then what I do is I clamp it to the bike in various different ways. As you can see, I've got different configurations. That will clamp sometimes on the back, the handrail at the back, passenger's handrail, or I could put it on front crash bars or whatever. And you can do insurmountable things with this. Really a lot of things. Now, audio wise, the audio's out the side, and if you want to use it for audio, I've stuck to my face there, there's little muffs you can put on it, but you can also do another little mod that I'll show you. Right folks, so what else you could do if you want to use this camera, which I do sometimes, as a on my selfie stick and just walking around taking pictures. You can get audio, again remote wireless audio. This is Rode Wireless Go, and this is single channel, in other words, one transmitter, one receiver. Just clicks onto here with this bracket that you can buy, plugs into here. Now that's giving you great sound. So you clip this onto your neck here and you can use, and this is bringing the sound in to the 360 camera. Really, really good. As I say, it's similar to what you use on the DJI, but it's a slightly older version. Doesn't last, this charge on this doesn't last maybe an hour and a half at the most. Same with the receiver, with the transmitter, you get hour and a half, so you use it very sparsely. But again, it clips in there. You can alter then the dB gain on the 360 camera, can take it up and down. I usually find if I'm using this microphone on the camera such and doing anything outside, I'll take this to -12, I think. I'll take -12 dB on the camera. And also on this receiver here, you can lower the gain a little bit. I think it's 3 positions. There's like a low, normal and high. I'd normally leave that one on the middle setting to get it. You can just see it now as I'm talking. You can see it working. But again, that's mainly for when I'm out and about. If I decide to get off and I want to go walking and do some videoing with a selfie stick. It's another tool in the armoury for vlogging. But again, over time, this was the first thing that I used before I got the DJI, and I was quite happy with it. But the DJI is somewhat better quality, especially for front-facing camera helmet. You can mount this on your helmet front-facing if you wanted to, but it's a bit of cumbersome. So that's the 360. Just a note on the 360, if you buy one, get the lens guards, front and back. These are detachable. I don't know how much they are. I've got one set on. Actually, that one now is marked. There's a mark on it, so I need to change it. But they protect the camera somewhat, because this is an expensive piece of kit and you tend not to get it repaired. Once it's damaged, it's scrap. And I think my son bought me this for Christmas, my son and my family, and I think it was about 430 odd quid. So it's a lot of money to lose. So the guards on the front, just a job. Okay, so the final piece of kit is something I've had a long time, and I use this mainly for still photos, which is my Pentax, what's it called now, K100. It's an old one, but it's an SLR, but it does the job a treat. And this works, this is battery powered, to be honest. These batteries, but it's really good, and it takes some fantastic, not megapixels, not high rate, I think it's only about 9 megapixel, but it takes a really nice picture. And obviously you've got the function of setting it, and there's so many options you can do with it, as you can see there. You know, there's so many options. You've got all sorts of stuff that you can do there with it. If I'm really in the mood and I want to do something special, what I do is this. Just get it right. How about that, baby? Now that, the massive zoom lens. Again, expensive piece of kit. If you're out on tour, if you're definitely looking at top scenery and you want to get some magnificent pictures, again I will use this from a distance. Reservoirs, stuff like that. Hill and Valley type of stuff, lay behind sort of stuff, especially for a static photo. If you want it for some distance, you can zoom in, it's phenomenal. But again, this is something I've had a long time. It's not necessarily bought for vlogging. It was my own personal camera that I used. We used to do a lot of cruises, me and Mrs. Wolf, and we did some fantastic tours, and this took this to me to Alaska. We did a big trip to Alaska, and when you go there you want to take the best pictures you can, and that's what this did. When we went in the mountains, dog sledding, bears, wolves, everything. We saw a lot on the 2 weeks that we was up there, so that's what I bought this for, but that's a few years back. So folks, that's about it. Let's put that down. That's about it. That's all the camera systems that I use when I'm out vlogging. There's a lot of money's worth there, which I've accumulated over the last 18 months, most of it. You start at the bottom, you start with the stuff that you can afford, you work your way up. I've learnt the little tips and that off different people that I talk to on the internet, some of the other vloggers. I might Peaky Biker and one or two of the others. They got stuff and they tell you which way is the best way to do stuff, and you learn over time. You don't have to go into it as deep as I've gone into it. You don't have to have this amount of kit. You can basically stick one camera on the front of your helmet, put a microphone to it, and off you go, and you can become a vlogger. Or you can just stick the camera on the front of your helmet, take some pictures, take some films, come back, find some software editing suite that's not going to cost you any money, and add some music to it, and away you've got the job done. So until next time, this is Lone Wolf saying don't forget, give us a tick, give us a like, subscribe. Again, this subscribing bit, it don't cost you a penny. It's free. It's more of a follow than a subscribe. You follow what I do. You always find that little box in the bottom right hand corner when you watch the video. Just touch that and you're on. You've subscribed. If you see the like button, drop us a comment. That again helps the channel. And also, if you touch the bell, you get notifications. So every time I make a video, you'll get this notification that it's been done. So I hope you enjoyed this rather drawn out but in-depth review of what I use to do my vlogging. So until the next time, it's Lone Wolf saying bye for now, and don't forget, just be careful out there. It's Lone Wolf, bye for now.